everybody doing? Welcome to the weekly Wednesday webinar at Breakthrough RE. You know, I really love that song, Breakthrough. It's our theme song. Isn't it fun? We have our own theme song for our group. It makes me very excited. Okay, so it is the third Wednesday of the month, and you know what that means? That means our very, very favorite person who does so much training and things on the mortgage side of things, Mr. Jeff Quincey, is with us today. So I'll tell you about him in just a second. But before we get started, let's do a little bit of our housekeeping. Of course, when Jeff and I are going to be talking today, sometimes it's hard for me to see the chat. So our amazing Director of Operations, Robin Keeley. Say hello, Robin.
Hey, everyone. Welcome.
There's Robin. Yay. So she'll be watching the chat for us. She'll stop us. By the way, today might be really fun. So if there's a question, there's going to be a lot of conversation with Jeff and me today. So if there's a question you have, and it's really burning, just say, hey, Robin, I'd like to ask a question. And then she can go ahead and have you us hear your voice and we can have a little bit of conversation. So go ahead and just, we're going to participate just a little bit today. So first of all, some of you guys may be brand new here and you don't know me all that well. So let me introduce myself. My name is Cole Finley, and I am a business performance and transformational coach and trainer. I'm also the owner of Finley RE Coaching and Consulting. Now, I have been a realtor since 2009, and I was Rookie of the Year my very first year. Kind of cool. Sold 36 transactions my first year in 2009. I know, a little crazy. I'll tell you the story sometime. Great fun. I am a former CEO and team leader of Keller Williams. I'm a neurolinguistic programming practitioner, an instructional designer with 25 years of experience as a course creator, trainer, and coach. And I'm the chief architect of our Breakthrough RE Facebook group, as well as the 12 Weeks to Breakthrough program. Okay, so like I told you, today we have the extraordinary, incomparable Mr. Jeff Quincey here today. Let me tell you a little bit about Jeff. So Jeff has built a successful mortgage business over the last 19 years by taking an educative approach with his clients and referral partners. His entire mission is to show clients how they can create generational wealth through real estate and their prospective financing options. And although this approach takes more time in educating and explaining the options, it has proven to create lifelong clients and establishes him as a mortgage professional and not just an order taker. Oh my gosh, an extraordinary man. Jeff, come on in here and say hi.
How's everybody doing today? Oh, I'm excited. Every third Wednesday, I just get even more excited.
I do too, because there's been some really, really cool things kind of happening. And we want to share. We got a lot of yummy goodness today. I know we've got our topic today, which is all about unhooking, and Jeff's going to talk about it in just a minute. But can I talk about a class that I attended yesterday? Is that okay?
I think you need to.
I think I need to. So I attended a class with Fairway Independent Mortgage yesterday, guys. Extraordinary. It is all about really, and I mean really understanding the market and historical trends with Barry Habib. Now, Barry Habib is one of the most dynamic speakers, and his knowledge in this topic is extraordinary. Robin is actually going to put the link to this in the chat. But Jeff, can you actually walk us through a little bit more about what the class was about?
Yeah, so really what Barry talks about, and just so give you a little background on Barry, he's a CEO of MBS Highway, and you may have heard some news last week for any agents out there that use a service called List Reports. Barry and his company actually just acquired that. I don't know if it's actually official, but I saw that in the news. And you'll see why when you watch his replay. They do a lot of stuff for us. They give us the mortgage-backed security market every morning. They do a little 7 to 8 minute video explaining what's going on, why there's movements in rates, good or bad, Monday through Friday. And he does a lot of technology-related advertising for real estate agents that work with us. Okay, so it makes sense that he bought list reports. It just adds to his entire, empire, what they're building. But his message yesterday was what to expect headed into 2023. And I'll just give you a couple sound bites to look at. Definitely watch the replay. He is not releasing his slide deck, just so you know. But the cool thing is you can watch the replay, take a little picture with your phone of the slides that are important to you that you want to share with clients. There's going to be 2 in there. You'll know when you get to them that point to the fact, if you have a client that says, we've heard this objection all year, I'm waiting for a crash. There are 2 very specific slides in there. When you see them, you'll know them. It points historically that we are nowhere close to heading to a crash. But it's going to give you that statistical data about why the next 4 or 5 years are going to be very strong in the real estate market, related to millennials being a bigger class of home buyers than baby boomers. Okay. Number 1, bigger class. Number 2, and this parlays a little bit into Dave Stevens a couple, 2-3 weeks ago. Millennials, people the age 29 to 34 only own 20% of that category own homes. Okay, you're not going to see this in Barry's video, so this is the nugget I'm giving you. From 34 to 44, that ownership jumps from 20% to 70% of the people in that classification own a house. Guess where the millennials are at? Average age, 33. Guys, biggest class of home buyers ever is about to age into standard home ownership. Barry goes into household formation, explaining what that is, how the government monitors that, and why we have an inventory issue right now that's only going to continue to get worse, which is going to drive the housing market over the next 3 to 5 years. Cole, do you have anything to add to that?
Here's the thing, guys, is when we're talking about what all of your clients are seeing in the media, they are making a lot of decisions based on that media. Barry really breaks it down inside this video and talking about giving you ammunition to be able to say, look, this is not the real deal. You guys have heard me say this for the past several weeks, is don't listen to the media. They're out there selling, dishwashing soap and used cars, right? I mean, that's, and no more campaign ads, at least, but that's what's happening. You got to watch this video. Extraordinary. Dave's is extraordinary. Just take a look at it. We will be posting it on the Facebook group. We'll post both links to these for you, so you can also grab those. But Robin has been so kind as to put the Barry Habib's link in the chat.
Barry gets fired up. You brought up the media, right? Guys, the media is showing us literally a year or less of data. The same graph that these experts are using, but they extrapolated over 35 or 70 years. So you can see the whole history and you can't argue it. If that's the only thing you go watch the replay for, and you just see him get frustrated at what the media is doing to our clients and making our jobs harder. So if that's the only reason why you go watch, it's an hour long. Highly encourage you invest an hour and help your own business with that knowledge.
Oh yeah. Here's the thing. If you are a professional in this business, you're going to go watch that video. I'm telling you right now, as your coach, go watch the video. It's extraordinary.
Hey, Cole, before you move on, Shane had an interesting comment. He said, so glad the election is over with all the signs out. I think I accidentally voted for a realtor.
Shane, that's so you. I love it.
That is so
love it. Okay, so we have a really cool topic to talk about today, and it's about unhooking. And it came up because I posted a survey on the group 3-4 weeks ago, Jeff, I think it was, and it was all about ghosting, right? So we're talking about, like, you've made a connection with someone, and it's a potential client, or it is a client or whatever, and all of a sudden they just start ghosting you. Well, what does that mean to us? So we put that in, but then Jeff came back to me and says, you know what? I have an idea for this. So take us through it just a little bit. Jeff, where did all this come about, our conversation?
Yeah. So I see your post and I saw all the comments, and it's all things that I've seen and heard when I do real estate classes. This topic almost comes up in person every time, where we get on the topic and I ask, I'm going to ask the group right now. I want you to take just 10 seconds and think of a time that you were working with a client, you had great connection, you showed them some houses, and all of a sudden, poof, they didn't respond to text, didn't respond to phone. I guarantee you, if you've been in the business for a year or longer, that's happened at least once, right? You're like, what the heck? And you went onto Facebook, maybe some groups trying to get some feedback. You talked about it in your office. Like, what these people, and I saw it in the comments in your post, Cole, right? What were some of the common responses? It's disrespectful. Right?
Right.
This ghosting.
That was the number one. By the way, if that has happened to you, do me a favor, say yes in the chat. Let's hear from you. Because I'll bet you it's universal. Yeah.
When I do this and I ask, has that happened? And I just have everybody sit back 10 seconds, just think about it. And every person in the room raises their hand every time. And I said, perfect. So you got unhooked. And they look at me, kind of cock their head like, never heard that term. So here's what unhooking is. And we obviously are talking about this in the terms of you as a realtor losing the client and how it relates to a relationship and a partnership with a trusted lender. This can happen in any industry from any partner. So really what the idea is here, and before I go into that, let me just preface this because of the comments on the Facebook post, disrespectful, rude, not professional. You have to understand first that the average consumer is not a sales professional like we are. Okay. We're sales professionals. So anytime I'm in a sales conversation, I'm trying to buy a car, I'm respectful. I pick up the phone and say, I'm not buying the car from you. I need you to know so you don't waste your time. Right. I learned this in sales 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. The best answer you can give me is no, not maybe. Because maybe means I have to follow up and it's going to be uncomfortable for both of us. Yes or no? So the average consumer doesn't know how to pick up the phone, text us, call us, email us, and simply explain, hey, you weren't the right fit for me. I found somebody else. So I think we first have to understand that, because I talk a lot about, the preface almost to all of our talks is attitude and mindset. And I know you have a section or a module in your breakthrough training about mindset, right? A lot of people ask me, it's the chicken before the egg. Jeff, you've talked about, maybe I haven't here, but our business is going to be on pace to do the same number we did last year. And that's not to brag, right? It's to drive home the point of what comes first. My attitude generated the results, or the results generate the attitude. It's very easy for people, I'm out in the marketplace every day and people are like, of course you're in a good mood. I'm down 50%. You're down less than 1%. So of course you're in a good mood. Well, what came first? I believe my attitude. We made a decision within our team that we were going to keep our head down, remain positive, educate people, and keep moving forward. And our results have shown that, right? And that's what I preach to all of my real estate partners. So we get into like the unhooking. We got to think about that, like our mindset around it. I think we have to first understand why somebody would do that. Did they intend to be disrespectful, unprofessional, rude? I'm going to argue 9 out of 10, no. They just didn't know how to tell you no. And their version of maybe was ghosting you. Okay. So how does this happen? How do we get to this point? You're working with the client, you've taken them out 2 weekends in a row, showed them houses, all of a sudden they ghost you. Well, one of the biggest reasons that can happen is you either didn't get them connected to your tribe, right? And in our industry, that tribe, the number one person at the top of your list should be a true partnership with a lender you trust and know will take good care of your clients and give you honest answers, right? So we either didn't do that, or we gave them so many options that they were afraid to make the wrong decision. So they make no decision and they get a referral from a coworker, a family member, a friend. Now, I'm going to tell you, we all know that lenders rarely have the opportunity to refer out clients. Why? Because just like buying a car, we want to go see the sexy piece of the transaction, which is the house, and get excited, and then worry about financing after the fact. We can never find a way to fix that and have clients come to us for financing first so they know what they're fishing with, right? I had a realtor partner 15 years ago say to every one of his clients, hey, if you're going fishing, don't you need to know what kind of bait to buy at the tackle shop before you get to the lake? Which means you need to know what kind of fish are in the lake. So I'm not taking you to show homes until you talk to Jeff and get pre-approved so we know what we're fishing for, right? So we have to do that. What we're doing is we're latching them into our tribe. And Cole, I can see you want to interject, so I'm going to let you.
No, here's the thing about that, guys. It really is all about building rapport with that client to such an extent that they feel so comfortable with you. And I love what Jeff says about the tribe, right? The more and more we can focus on building enough rapport with this person where they really feel like they trust you, you know them, you've got their back. That's where we set it up. And Jeff, you couldn't be more right in how do we really share with our clients? And I know it's a little bit off topic here.
No,
How do we really share with our clients that it's you need to go speak with the lender first? One thing, and I'll just share this real quick, like I said, a little off topic here, but this is one thing I used to always say to my buyer clients. I used to say to them, I would assume that this is the biggest investment you have in your portfolio, correct? Because this is usually when they said, oh, go show me this house. And I'd say, and correct? They said, well, yeah. I say, you know what? I don't take that lightly. Because of that, we want to make sure we have a very sound strategy to ensure that we really protect that asset that you're going to be giving. So the first step, let's go through all the steps. The number one step is going to be speaking with your lender. So when we can frame things for our clients and have them move forward because we're professionals and we're not just jumping through hoops. Oh yeah, I'll show you that house. Oh yeah, we'll do this in our little frenzy because we get afraid. Controlling that message and getting people to somewhere is really, really important. So by the way, love that. And I'm going to shameless plug for Jeff. He's an amazing partner that you should all talk to. Okay, sorry. He knows I did not plan that for him. So
No, you not planned at all. So we're talking about this. I'm going to put that kind of next topic. I got some bullet points. We're going to get into partnership and some of that, why we do what we do. And there's reasons for it. Right. And I think myself and Cole agree. We kind of talked beforehand that some of those are good, some are not good. And then that's what gets us to this position. So here's what happens. They find that lender through their family, friend, coworker. And because we don't have the opportunity to refer out like agents do to us, if a client comes to me and says, Jeff, I need a loan, right? That unicorn who does everything backwards and have somebody pre-approved, I'm going to ask them, who are you working with? And I'm just going to pick because her name's on the screen. They're going to say Robin Keeley. Now, I actually know Robin, great friend of mine, but my response is going to be, I don't know Robin. I don't know Robin here in this Arizona market. Okay, there's two reasons why I'm saying that. First one is I now have an opportunity to take care of one of my referral partners. I'm going to say, are you latched on to Robin? Have you signed a buyer broker agreement? The second they say no, based on a few things, geography, personality, maybe their price point, who I think is the best fit for them within my tribe, I'm going to say, you know what? I don't know Robin, but you need to call Cole. She'll take good care of you. Why am I doing that? A, I want to take care of my referral partner, Cole. But the bigger reason is self-serving, if I'm being honest, because I know if I pre-qual that client, they take their pre-qual back to Robin, Robin's now going to say the same thing I said. I don't know Jeff Quincey at Fairway Independent Mortgage. You need to call Bob over at ABC Mortgage. He's my guy. And I just went and did all that work, all for Robin, somebody I don't know, to unhook me from that transaction. So why do I want to get him over to Cole? Because she's my partner. I get to give her a referral. I get to look good. And then Cole's going to edify me because I just got done edifying how great she is. She's a East Valley real estate agent, top 1%. She's a negotiator. She's a pit bull. I know Erica Urim's on here. I just use the word pit bull. That's what I call her. She's one of my partners, right? I know that Erica, if that client works with Erica, Cole, whoever I'm referring to them to in my tribe, we're both edifying each other and we're latching our hooks in deeper. Now you can still get unhooked in that scenario, but less likely. In fact, what will happen is one of the reasons why we get unhooked is sometimes we're not happy with something one of the agent or the lender said, how we handle the situation, right? So if I referred them over to Cole and they had a bad experience with Cole because she said one word wrong and it was received wrong, I'm going to hear about that as a lender. What am I going to do? I'm going to protect my partner and my client equally And I'm going to say, hey, I bet you that was misconstrued. Let me give Cole a call. Cole, you're out showing houses yesterday. This happened. You know, they kind of want to leave you, but I'm reeling them back in, right? We're about to get unhooked, but I'm reeling them back in. I think there's a misunderstanding. Now, if I don't know Cole and they went with their agent, Robin, and I was still lucky enough to be hooked into that transaction, I'm going to be like, wow, Robin doesn't sound like a good agent because I don't know her. I don't have the relationship to call Robin and say, hey, what are you doing? I'm sure this was misconstrued. I'm probably using that as a second opportunity to get them referred over if they haven't signed an agreement. Guys, these are the things that go on behind the scenes. So when you're like, oh, I got unhooked, the client didn't unhook you actually. It was another professional in the industry that took care of that client, got them over to their tribe. So we see the same thing if we hand a referral out. That referral goes out, like I said, it works both ways. We can get unhooked as the lender. So that's why we always want to make sure our clients are hooked into our tribe, people we know, like, and trust. That way, when those, because it happens, right? Real estate's real estate. There's third-party people putting their hands in, appraisers, inspectors, things come up. We want to be able to have that relationship, right? I'd say that's a key word right there, that relationship, that partnership, to be able to call that person and say, why'd this go sideways? Let's fix this together because we're a team. Unhooking, guys, it's happened to you. Okay. So now that we understand just that base foundation, we can get into why. I kind of already mentioned it, but why does this happen? How do we get to a point of being unhooked, sitting back in our chair going, God, I did everything right? Well, maybe we didn't. And a couple of things, we don't refer them out because we don't have a true partner, right? So on the real estate side, that number one partner, real estate or a lender. As a lender, my number one partner for referring out is insurance agents. So I do the same thing. We refer one insurance agency. Their husband and wife team, just like my wife and I, they're friends of ours. We go out to dinner together. I trust them. They work just like us. It's important. I know that they are not going to upset a single one of my clients that makes that client come back and want to leave me as a lender or tarnish my name and my reputation for future lifelong business, right? It's right there in my bio. I want to create lifelong relationships with these clients. I don't want anybody in my tribe taking that away. Now they can go out and get their own insurance. That's fine, but we're going to help them, lead them to water. We're going to lead them to our partner for the same reasons that lender realtor partnership is so important. So why do we do this, right? Because that's one thing. We don't have the partner. We don't refer them out. The other potential issue, in my opinion, is we refer 3 people. And I'm going to broach this conversation and this topic very lightly because I understand there's some rules in some offices. Some states have, their own rules. However, in a general sense, most brokers tote this for one of 2 reasons. Okay, I'll talk about, I think, the easiest one first. When you ask them, well, why do I have to give 3 names and numbers? The number one word you're going to hear in the next sentence out of their mouth is steering. Okay. So if we go back to our education, because we have to go through this on, right? We refer to insurance agents. So we go through this in our licensure and our continuing education. The true definition of steering, when you look into it, is to say, hey, Jeff, if you want to work with me and have me be your real estate agent, you have to use Cole as a loan officer. That is steering, forcing them to do that. Right now, so how do I handle that? Because I could tell you 15 different ways that you could set up your partnership and refer out. I'm going to use real life on insurance. Hey, you need to call Jonathan and Jesse Gephardt, the owners of 643 Insurance. They're amazing. You already like the way me and my wife, CC, work. They work just like us. You're going to love it. They're a broker. They have great premiums. They're competitive. By the way, this is just to help you get the ball rolling. You can use anybody you want. What did I do there? Because the second thing, that the reason why a broker wants you to refer 3 is because of the liability. What if that person does something wrong? What did I do? I took the liability off. By making that statement, I'm saying if you decide to go with Jonathan and Jesse, that was your choice, right? I just helped provide that, make it a little bit more convenient. But I highly encourage you to check around. And I would say about 70% of our clients get their insurance from Jonathan and Jesse. The other 30% were like, cool, we told you from the get-go you didn't have to use them. right? And sometimes they go with somebody else that's higher price, and it should never be all about price. How many people in here make a 3% commission, right? Should they go somewhere else because it's a flat fee $1,000 listing? Most times that's a bad decision. We all talk about this. We get what we pay for. We
Right.
get what we pay for. So
That's
it's
right.
not all about price. Some people will go with who their family's been with for 30 years, and they'll pay double the premium on insurance. So I use insurance as an example, but again, I don't want to overstep my authority there, right? Your broker and your office may have rules, the state may have rules, but I think it's very important for us to all understand the definition of steering, because that's usually the number one reason given for, hey, you have to give out 3 names. It's either steering or liability. Liability is a very important one, right? And I have partners on this call today that will say, Jeff is my guy. But then there's just certain scenarios. I have another partner who I know is not on this call who has 5 lenders. So why do you have 5? Right? Because if you give people 5, I'm just telling you right now, you give people options, they will not pick one. They'll paralysis by analysis. And they'll wait for an outside referral that refers one person. And they won't go with any of your people. And I asked him, why do you use 5? He goes, Jeff, each one of the 5 have their own niches. He's like, I will never tell a client to call all 5. I will never play that game with you, but each one has their niche. It forces me to get to know the client in a deeper level, so I know which one of you 5 is the best fit. Nothing wrong with that. But that client is getting one name and number from that agent.
So just to let you guys know, I'm gonna share with you kind of what I have done, and I'm going to preface this by saying, and Jeff did it beautifully, there may be laws in your state, there may be very specific rules at your brokerage, but on average, this should work. Here's what I used to do. Jeff is my preferred lender. By the way, you're allowed to have a preferred lender. Builders have preferred lenders, agents have preferred lenders. Everybody's got a preferred lender. My preferred, and so I would do an email introduction. Okay. I would introduce my clients to Jeff in an email, CC Jeff on it, tell them why I love Jeff so much. At the bottom, then I am going to write the words, of course, you can use anyone you wish. Okay. Now you even have it in writing that you've shared with them. They do not have to use Jeff, but I've also really shared the reasons why I use Jeff. So that was always very, very helpful for me.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I would say this too. So when somebody refers me, I'm totally going to go off topic here, but I think it's important to drive home this overall topic. So when somebody refers me a client and we talk about credit report often, right? Number one concern on that first call within 5 minutes is hard inquiry, soft inquiry. Just know, guys, if you don't know the difference, soft inquiry won't give you credit scores. Guess what we need to know to qualify somebody? Credit scores. Hard inquiry. Okay. So they want to know that. How's it going to impact credit score? There's really, you guys are getting some bonus nuggets here. If you have less than average credit, it's going to impact your score 1 to 2 points. If you have above average credit, it's going to impact 0. The only time inquiries impact numerous different industries over a short window. Just throw that in there. So I will tell people, have you had your credit pulled by another mortgage company? No. Perfect. I'm going to tell you what's truly going to happen with your score, right? I'm gaining trust and credibility by being honest with them, which most salespeople aren't. And I'll say, here's the thing. If there's any impact to your score, I'm the one impacting your score. And then you're going to have 30 to 45 days where you can have as many mortgage companies. And I say, this is exactly how I say it. Now I'm being facetious, don't run out to 20, but you can have 4 or 5 other companies pull your credit. The only person that impacted was me. The algorithm is set up that way because it doesn't have a brain like me and you. It's set up that way to allow you to shop. What did I do? I just told them they have no reason to shop, because now from that conversation on, it's my job to deliver value so they don't want to shop me. It actually holds me accountable to delivering value to the client, which goes back to my bio, an educational approach to the mortgage process to help clients generate or create generational wealth. I got to live that in that conversation. Now, when I hang up the phone, what percentage of clients go and call another mortgage lender? I don't know. Less than 10% probably, because I did my job. right? So you're building that credibility and that trust. Now, if you're working with a lender who you think is a great partner and they start saying things like, don't have anybody else pull your credit, I am the good lender who is going to tell that client, if anybody ever tells you that, it's a sales tactic to prevent you from going to shop to realize how bad their loan is, right? So if they say that and they put the client on edge, now you kind of uncovered, maybe this isn't the right partner for me. Because if they're scaring clients into, you can't leave me, now I understand why some agents have this concern of steering. Because the loan officer themselves is pretty much saying, oh, if you don't work with me, you can't work with Robin. And I'm, guys, whether you want to believe it, because that sounds so far-fetched, there are lenders out there having that conversation that you don't even know. They're scaring your clients and doing it the wrong way. So that's how you can easily end your email that Cole just gave you an example of, right? With, by the way, you can choose whoever you want, but my guy in my world, get 100% close rate, never close late. You need to call him. Feel free to use whoever you want. Have it in writing, covered your butt. And then make sure that that partner is going to go act on that. And if they deliver the value, so by the time I'm done with a 15 to 20 minute intake call, that's it, guys. 15 to 20 minute intake call. I have had clients in their 60s, 70s, 80s end the call with, Jeff, I've learned more about mortgages in the last 15 minutes than I did the previous 5 transactions. Is that client going to call another lender? No. So when we talk about unhooking, we really have to dive deep into those partnerships and how those partners are representing you and your brand.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
So
kind of went on a
important.
tangent there.
I
But it's
love
so
that though, Jeff. I think that's so important for us to understand the partnerships in this business. It is so important. Again, when you're building trust with a client, you are the ultimate professional as a real estate agent with that person buying or selling their home. This is one of the, and you guys will understand this. You guys will understand this. Buying a home is one of the most emotional things you can do other than the birth of a child. And here's why. People come in at first, they're all excited and they want to go see houses and it's great. And then they start seeing some and maybe the negotiations don't go well. So they didn't get the house they wanted. And so their emotions go down, but then they get all psyched and they see another one. It's great. Now they get under contract. Great. And then they go into and have a home inspection and maybe it didn't go the way they wanted. It was down. It's this roller coaster. Okay. Now, one thing I used to always tell my clients is exactly that. This is one of the most emotional things you'll do other than the birth of a child. And by the way, at some point during this transaction, you're going to have some type of a breakdown. It happens to every single client, even that one who's really, really stoic. Yes, you'll have a breakdown. And what's going to happen, you're going to call me and I'm going to remind you of this conversation. So here's how we're going to really overcome this and make sure you're set up for success. Step 1, I'm going to introduce you to my preferred lender. He is going to take such good care of you guys. He's going to educate you. It's his approach on how he does things. He is going to be the one that's going to be our rock, and we're going to be in partnership together to make sure that you absolutely win the day and win that house. So when you can front load questions like that, when you can front load those relationship and rapport building and trust building conversations, now I'm kicking them over to Jeff. Guess what? Jeff and I have already learned how to have that conversation with each other. So he knows now how to have that conversation with my clients that I've referred him.
Yeah. If you guys see me looking down, I'm writing notes. So much to unpack here. First thing, based on what Cole just said, mentality. We talk about this every time I'm on. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to challenge you to right now, you don't have to type it in the chat. Just think to yourself, do you call your title, your escrow officer? Do you call your lender a vendor or a partner? I want to ask that, because it all starts with where our thoughts are. And if you see that, I was in a meeting, a real estate office meeting yesterday, and the word vendor was said 13 times. I almost came unglued from my chair, right? Asking vendors to come out and ring the bell for, and I'm like, well, a partner would show up and do that. But the vendor, it sounds like you're just needing a handout versus let's partner and ring the Salvation Army bell, right? Like, so think about that in your business. How do you view those people that are in your tribe that are truly partners and you're calling them vendors? So that was the first note. The other thing is, I've heard so many people, I know nobody in your group would ever do this, Cole, but I've heard so many people in different offices on the phone with clients and say, look, my job is to make this a stress-free transaction. Everything Cole just said is absolutely correct. There is too many hands in the pot in a transaction. Things can close on time and smoothly at the end, but it is almost a guarantee that something between day 1 and day 30 is going to go sideways, or they're going to have something doesn't go sideways and they just have a meltdown, right? I saw a Facebook post last night. Wife refused to show up to close as the buyer on closing day. Just decided, no, I'm not closing. By the way, I'm divorcing my husband, right? Poor seller. Right? Like things come up that are out of our control. So be careful what expectations you're throwing out there. Can you really meet that? Can you really guarantee that a client can have a stress-free transaction? In our industry, almost impossible.
I know, and here's the funniest thing about this, Jeff. I've always prefaced that with every single buyer I've ever had. And every single time without fail, they came and they had some type of a breakdown. But this is what they did. They would call me and they go, I'm having my breakdown now. And I'd go, awesome. Now we know what we're doing. Let me walk you through it. So you're right. It's not going to be stress-free. It never is. I can be honest with them, but I can also let them know that you sell a house, once every 5 to 10 years. I do it every day, several times a day.
Very well put. Yeah. And I want to back up earlier. I mentioned the 2 reasons why a broker might say you got to give out multiple names. So we have relationships with agents. We also have relationships with real estate offices. So I fit into this category. Take a look around your brokerage. How many realtor partners does your brokerage have? Some of them, it's becoming norm to have 2 or 3 lenders in their office. I work and partner with one that has 3 lenders. So do they want you to refer 3 because it's the best thing for you? Or it's the best thing for the office to keep in their eyes, vendors happy, right? It's another angle nobody ever thinks about. Like I sit in these meetings and I hear, got to refer out 3. And I look around and I'm like, yeah, there's 3 of us lenders. They're just making sure we're all happy. And I could care less. I could care less if they always recommend it my competition, because I'm going to still show up. I'm going to be Jeff Quincey. I'm going to deliver value and I'm going to get my piece of the pie one way or another, because what you put out is what you get back, right? Givers gain mentality. And so I just wanted to throw that in there, right? Like look around your office, like how many lender partners are there? How many escrow partners are there? And maybe that's why they're wanting you to do that.
Couple of comments here.
Yeah.
Shane said, vendors come to fill the soda machine, not service our clients. That's what a partner does. Perfectly said.
So true.
And then remind me again, Jeff, are you in California? Are you licensed there?
We can help in California. Yes. I need to get a list out of all the states.
That would be great.
I think we're up to 17 or 18 now. And thanks, Robin, for putting my contact information in there.
Yep. And then we had one more comment. I had a buyer point her finger at me when she was upset with my recommendation and said, you recommended him to me. From then on, I give out 2 to 3 names of my preferred lenders. That buyer scared the living bejesus out of me.
Chris, very valid point, right? Some of this isn't, broker fear or anything. Sometimes it's real life experiences that lead us to that. And I think at the same time, so there's nothing wrong with that. However, where was your level of partnership with that lender where you could call them and say, you just put me in this position, you just ruined my reputation, right? Is that going to do you any good? Probably not. Just get into a shouting match and they're going to justify. However, making sure that those partners are like A1 on your list. Yep. You got to be able to trust them every moment. Like the agents I work with know that if I drop the ball, I am calling them first to be like, hey, I was supposed to call this client at 2. I didn't get him called till 2:30. Totally my fault. I own it. And I think all of us as human beings, that's all we want, right? Is we all make mistakes. But are you working with a partner who's willing to own up to it, or are they always deflecting and blaming other people, right? So.
Well, I love how you're saying it's a partnership, Jeff, because here's the thing. If that happened to me and I had a client that was just that upset, I would go, hang on a second. can I step in and can I speak with Jeff? I'm going to ask her permission to do that. Right. And she may say yes or no, but let's say she says yes. You bet. Hey, Jeff, just want to let you know, I just got off the phone with Chris and really valuable client of mine. But what happened? Something happened yesterday. And this is what she shared with me. Can you fill me in? Again, I don't have to hit him with you're a jerk. I can't believe you did that to my client, but I can seek to understand. I can say, hey, what happened? He may not even know what happened. Now, here's the next thing I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to say, can I get you on the phone together with this person, all three of us? So I'm going to go back to that client, say, I totally understand. I had a great conversation with Jeff. What we'd like to do is sit down and see if we can work through this together. Can you get on a phone call with all of us? Get the partner back in, help them be the solution, be the bridge to communication so you keep that partnership going.
And I would add to that, Cole, be careful, because this is human instinct. I know I've done it. Be careful of your initial response to be, Jeff never does this in that scenario. Because here's what's going to happen. They're so upset and frustrated in the moment. They're going to be instantly, you just ruined your reputation. They're like, yeah, right. He probably does this every Tuesday, right? Seek to understand, be the bridge to the solution. Because if you instantly even try to appear that you're on Jeff's team, you're losing the client too, right? It's literally, you got to validate, like, hey, how you feel is how you feel. I'm not telling you not to feel that way, but be careful to be like, Jeff never does this, even if Jeff never does it, because it instantly appears that you're on their team, not looking out for their interest. So everything you said, Cole, is perfect. I just be very careful of inserting those words, because it's so human nature, right? I'd be like, I'll have a complaint against an agent on a mutual transaction that I've worked with on 20 deals. And it slipped out of my mouth in the second did it. It's just like, have you ever gone to fast food, or I guess it could be anywhere, and people say, not a problem? Why did you put the negative thought in my head?
Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't a problem. Like, all I did was, can I get some ketchup? Oh yeah, not a problem. Why did we respond negatively? It's kind of the same idea.
I tell you what, you're always going to get the mindset stuff with Jeff. It is fantastic. Okay. So Jeff, as we're wrapping things up here, what do you think are 2 or 3 really good strategies that we could, like, our watchers can take a look at now? 2 strategies, they walk away from here and they go do this to make sure that they're not getting unhooked.
So I think the very first thing is you need to reevaluate, sit down, quiet time, just you and a pen and a paper. Reevaluate your partnerships that you have, write them out. Who are those partners? And maybe you even make a partner and vendor list, and that will help you go, oh, wow, I saw them as a vendor. Maybe there's something there. You need to list out what your, for you, your reputation, your business, what's most important for you in that partner. Because see, here's the problem. We all walk in, well, you won't get this with me. I'm no BS. Like, in fact, clients hear this line from me all the time. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. We are surrounded in society by people who will tell us what we want to hear to keep us happy and to keep stroking our ego. And I don't do that. Like, if I don't tell you what's going on with your credit, you're never buying a house, which is the reason why we're talking. So if I don't get real with you and level with you, now I'll do it professionally, but if I don't do that, and I don't get, like, we start seeing bank statements and, $1,000 a month in fast food, and then you're telling me you can't save anything. And I'm like, yeah, $800 right there, go to the grocery store. Like, I'm gonna get real about that, because my job is to help you get in a house, right? So most lenders are going to tell you what you want to hear. So what's important to you? And then the hardest part is uncovering that. But the reason why you're listing these values down is because the second you see that partner that you thought was a good partner not living up to it, you can address it immediately. It doesn't string on for 10 clients and you lose 9 of the 10 before you're like, oh, this isn't a good partner. Have those written down, know exactly what they are. Know 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a BS response from a lender that's going to be the answer you want to hear to get and earn your business. And then they won't follow through with it, right? I won't tell you I can do something. I had an agent years ago come to me and say, Jeff, I have 20,000 internet leads in my database. Can you call them? I said, absolutely not. I do not have that bandwidth. At the time, I was a team of 1. And we were doing a ton of loans. I'm like, I don't have the bandwidth to sit down and throw your database into a dialer and call them 8 hours a day as a full-time job. Right now, some lender will say yes, and then drop the ball on it, and they'll never get an opportunity with that partner again. So that number one. Number two, after that, because that relates to the topic, you guys got to jump on the Barry Habib, right? Every topic we do, we're always going to kind of siphon off of this. It all revolves around delivering value that helps you grow your business. Everything, every day I wake up, that's the number one goal. Deliver value that helps people grow business and create generational wealth. So got to go listen to Barry Habib. It's what you need right now. If you're selling 2 homes trying to get to 4, you need Barry. If you're selling 0 trying to get to the first one, you need Barry. If you're selling 20 homes a month and you want to build a team and get to 40, you need Barry's message, data, everything to take to the marketplace. There isn't a licensed real estate agent that will not benefit from listening to that hour. So those are the 2 action items.
Love that. Love that so much. You know, guys, it's been, first of all, Jeff, thank you so much. This is, now you guys are really seeing, and you see it all the time, Jeff is the most popular person on our YouTube channel. Always go back and watch his things. He always brings such incredible value, and it's why he's on our training team. So when you guys can, by the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but you can actually call Jeff. Matter of fact, one of my clients was bragging about you yesterday. I have to tell you, I haven't told you this yet, but she was so thrilled with the conversation that you've been having with her. So I just want to say thank you for that. That is great. So you can absolutely reach out to Jeff if you have questions. Like, how many states are you in? 23 states?
It might be up to 23. We were just at 17, but I know we just added some. So 23 states, nationwide company, as I've mentioned before. If we're not licensed there yet, we have a top partner in that market that we can refer to. So just like you guys as agents can, right? Hey, I can't do real estate in Alabama, but I know an agent within my brokerage that's really good in that area. So the same thing we can do within our network. So
yeah, absolutely. Just call Jeff. He will get you hooked up with the right person. That's great. Okay, I'm gonna switch tacks just a little bit. So I have been having so much fun speaking with the people in our group. By the way, we are just about to hit 700 members in our group. So exciting. We launched this group at the end of July, and we've already got 700 members. So I'm so excited. Yay for all of you guys who are members of our Facebook group. We love, love, love having you there. I have been sitting down and having some of the most extraordinary strategy sessions. And a strategy session is basically you and me sitting down, talking about your business and providing some insights to you as far as what could help you achieve a breakthrough in your business. Obviously, you guys know our Facebook group is called Breakthrough RE, Maximizing Growth for Real Estate Professionals. So here's what I'm going to invite you to do. Let's keep the ball rolling and go ahead and schedule some time with me. I would love to sit down, talk about your business, maybe some of the stuff that we just talked about with Jeff, any other things that are challenging in your business or things that you're going, man, I'm thinking about this thing, but I don't know if it's kind of the right thing to do. I'd love to sit down and chat. It's all you have to do. Scan this QR code. That's going to take you to my Calendly link. If you don't know what Calendly link, basically it is my calendar, and you can schedule a time to sit down with me, or you can always shoot me a text. So if you want my phone number for text, grab a pen, grab a paper. I'll wait. Okay, I'm telling you now, here's my number. So you can always text me, 480-725-6227, 480-725-6227. If you'd like to sit down sometime, I would love to do that with you. That'd be so great. Yes, yes, yes. And by the way, if you aren't a member of our Facebook group yet, here is how you can join it. By the way, everybody who is a friend of our Facebook, if you are a part of our Facebook group, do me a favor, share this link with your friends. If you think you're getting some value here, we'd love to have them there. Facebook.com/groups/breakthrough RE. We so love being with you guys. We love bringing this amazing weekly Wednesday webinar every week. And always my favorite is the third Wednesday of the month when we get to just say Jeff Quincey. Jeff, thank you so much.
I appreciate you guys and the team. Just like I said, here to give value. To your point, guys, reach out to me. I am on the phone. I'm doing a lot of Zooms and webinars, but reach out to me. My rule, right? Set expectations. We talked about it today with our clients. My rule is if the call comes in, voicemail comes in by 5 o'clock, I will return your call by the end of the day. If it's after 5, I'll return the call the following day. So just know if you miss me, I will absolutely reach back out to you. I'd love for nothing more than just have a 30-minute chat like we are on these Zooms. Find out about your business, what struggles you're going through. And maybe we can, Cole mentioned it earlier. I'm big on the mental game, the words we use, how we talk to people, how we approach situations. And maybe it's just something that somebody else outside force can see that just gets that one client over the hurdle or gets your business over the next hurdle and goes to the next level, with no anticipation of a partnership, nothing, just to help. And if there is a connection, great, but no expectation.
Love it. Love it. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We always love it when you guys join us on Wednesday. We will be back next Wednesday, same bat time, same bat channel. See everybody later.
Thanks, everyone.